And good afternoon. Welcome back Inside the Law. I'm your host, Philip Holloway. And yes, don't adjust your screen. We are in portrait mode. Let me start by saying, first off, I'm going to be trying to, and have been actually trying to introduce some viewers and people on the TikTok platform, introduce them to Inside the Law. This, of course, being the LawTube channel where we take you inside the real justice system, and we use cases and issues and things that are in the news, and we try to learn something from them. We try to show you what the real justice system is all about. In preparing for a live stream that's going to be happening tomorrow on Sunday, the 20th of October, I am experimenting with some things here in my home studio. And so I thought, look, what a great opportunity to just maybe share some of this with insiders and just have a little extra bonus episode, and we can talk some in the chat. And for those of you who have messaged me and asked, hey, look, where have you been? It's true. It's been a couple of weeks since I did a live stream, but I've been traveling, and I've also been participating in some disaster relief missions as a pilot, flying some for some of these folks that so desperately need the relief from the storms in Georgia and Florida, of course, in North Carolina. And with that and everything going on with my own court schedule, I've just not had the time, but I wanted to make the time. And that's why today, when I was doing my show prep, I said, look, let me just open it up to everybody who wants to join. If I don't know if there's going to be 5 people in here, 119 now, or if we're going to have 500. And it doesn't really matter because, again, this is show prep, and I'm just sharing it with you all, anybody who might be interested. So what's going on this week? All right. Well, we're going to have a big show. I'm very excited about it. I won't tell you all the details, but Rachel Kaufman, our friend Rachel, is going to be back here with us. We're going to have a very special guest in addition as well. And on top of that, we're going to have Sheriff Scott Berry, who is also a friend of the show. So let me just start with what we're looking at that Sheriff Berry is going to help us with. And so let me just start with, and by the way, if you ever want to know what's on my mind, things that I might be getting into, you can look at my Twitter feed and get sometimes an idea of things that I might be looking at. So let's just go to that. And I will share with you. This is a post that I made a few days ago. Georgia sheriff calls deputies over fast food order mistake. The headline from WSB TV was, Cobb County Sheriff called deputies for help after Burger King got his order wrong. And there's some quotes here. Video shows deputies helping Sheriff Craig Owens with a Burger King order. I wanted a Whopper, no mayo, cut in half, right? The sheriff said. According to the story, employees locked themselves inside the restaurant out of fear. And the sheriff remarks to the deputy, you didn't tell him who I was, did you? And so this is an interesting Atlanta, Georgia area story. It's in the nature of, law enforcement, but this is, for those of you who have been following the channel, we have been covering a lot of the YSL Young Thug trial. And of course, the Cobb County Jail is where Young Thug himself is being housed while he's in custody in this trial. So that's sort of why I think it's relevant to the show. But I've got more than just a Twitter feed for you. So let me just first off take a look at, and we'll be doing more with this when we do the full live stream. But here's some sneak peek here. Take a look at this body cam video. This is the sheriff in the front.
Hey, man. Sheriff. Hey, do me a favor. I need to get, all I need is the owner name or whoever owned this damn facility or the manager. Okay. We ordered something, the food was wrong. We said, hey, can we fix it right? The guy said, well, we ordered. I said, that's not what we ordered. what are we doing? I said, well, can I get my, no. I said, well, can you give me a manager name or owner name so I can call it? That's all I need.
Okay, sir.
I don't need no damn money back no more. I just need to find out who owns this place so I can do official complaint to complain.
Okay, sir. Okay. That's good.
All right.
All I'm going to do is, the sheriff wants the name of the manager or the owner so he can file a complaint. That's all.
The manager and the owner.
Yes, sir.
It may be an assistant manager now, but I don't know who it is. But he's just straight up ass.
I'll get all the names I can.
Okay.
He just wants some names, managers, owners, so he can file a complaint. Oh, no big deal.
The door's locked.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, who's the manager on duty?
That would be him.
You a manager or assistant manager?
I'm the assistant.
Okay, is the manager here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the assistant manager.
Yeah, but is the manager...
The GM is not here, no.
Okay. So nobody's in trouble. We just want to get some names, and then we'll be out of here, okay?
That's fine.
All right. So what's your name, please?
My name's Blake.
Huh?
BLA. IYN.
I-Y-N?
Yes, sir.
And your last name?
For right now, I'd like to keep it at that, just because my
really give
interaction
his
with
last
County
name.
so far is they
There's going to be no interaction with Cobb County at all. There isn't even going to be a report written,
I get that.
okay?
There isn't even going to be a report written. And in this was not a 911 call. This was a radio call apparently made by the sheriff. I don't know if it came out as a request for backup or just what, or a business dispute, but in any event, this was just a little bit unusual. Keep watching.
The guy out there, he's just going to file a complaint for his food.
And that's totally fine.
That's all.
But past that, I'm not giving out information just because I've had people stalk me for months, pull out guns, try to kill me. This area is not a great place to work. I don't give out my personal information to keep me safe. When I tell you I've had people follow me home, follow my truck, they followed me around here for 2 months. And the last time I talked to Cobb with it, not you guys, not the Sheriff's Department, but regular Cobb County Police, they told me to stop calling. You guys were providing a service, so respectfully, in my opinion, and working with the police in the past couple months has shot way down. So I'd like to keep it at that for right now.
Oh, you worried about that guy?
That guy or whoever. I mean, I've had people follow us. We've about probably 4 days ago. I pulled out
What's
the gun.
the manager's name?
Karen. Canales.
Can you spell that?
K-A-R-E-N. Last name is C-A-N. L-E-S. Or A-L-E-S, sorry. C-A-N-A-L-E-S.
A-L-E-S.
Yes, sir.
And she's the manager?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you know who the general manager is or who owns the place?
That's the general manager. GPS Hospitality owns the store.
So who owns it?
GPS Hospitality.
Okay. And do you have Karen's phone number?
Yeah, it's going to be 2.
All right. So this is some of the interaction, but now look, let me change to, all right, this is how the deputies responded. How fast do you think he's going here? There goes the siren, and you know the lights are going. All right, and so it keeps on going like this, and I think that video, I think it's like 9 or 10 minutes, and this is the kind of response. I mean, that we call that driving code 3 with lights and sirens. So we're going to have Sheriff Barry, retired Sheriff Barry, who's been on the show, friend of the show before. He's going to be here, along with another special guest, and we're going to talk about sort of the ethics of all of this. I want to, let's see, I want to share. This is just the, okay, so this is the 11 Alive local news picked it up along with other channels, and they've got some of the same video I have. And as it's reported here, they say here on 11 Alive, they say that the Cobb County Sheriff's Office has come under fire in national headlines. Video surfaced of an exchange he had last year at a Burger King in which he apparently called in deputies to the fast food restaurant. The reason, Sheriff Owens reportedly didn't get the right order. It says that a clip of the encounter was recently shared on social media by Owens' opponent in the upcoming sheriff's race, David Cavender. 11 Alive obtained the full body cam, as did I. I've got it all. Although we're going to be showing you the relevant parts of it tomorrow. But, it's basically, it's the kind of thing that he said he wanted some mayonnaise, or he wanted the burger cut up in a different way or something. Anyway, I thought that this was just a fascinating, I thought it was a fascinating story, and I thought it's something we could get into, particularly because this is the person who's in charge of the jail where the young thug is currently being kept. And of course, that's something we've talked a lot about. All right, what else are we going to get into? We're going to have to get into this guy a little bit here.
Go through 1,000 pages of records. I'm asking if you remember paying for a cabin 6 months ago in Tennessee.
No.
You remember booking a cabin?
I booked lots of cabins.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
No.
All right. I just look, I love this, but obviously that's not recent testimony, but Nathan Wade was recently in the news. He let's see, we can just go ahead and let's do this one. There was some testimony that was going to be provided to a congressional committee, and I posted on my Twitter feed. Looks like Fani Willis is getting nervous. She does not want Nathan Wade to answer questions based on his subpoena. And of course, she sent him a letter that basically lays all this out in a nice 2-page letter, claiming things like, privilege that may or may not apply. We're going to get into that. Rachel's going to help us get into some of that. We're also going to have, let's see, here's this one. Let me see if I can share this with you guys. So this is a letter. Okay, so former Georgia Governor Roy Barnes was in the room with Nathan Wade during this congressional deposition regarding the Fani Willis fiasco, according to what I put on my Twitter feed the other day. Of course, Roy Barnes, former Governor Barnes, represents Willis, and he sent this crazy, I called it a wackadoo letter, but basically it says things like, I would suggest you take some deep breaths. This is in reference to Chairman Jim Jordan. I would suggest you take some deep breaths and calm down so this matter can be discussed without emotion. Listen to this. An anger management course might also help. He goes on to say, I am just a country lawyer, unaware of the ways of Washington, D.C., but I must comment on your statements regarding obedience to subpoenas lawfully issued by committees in Congress. And the letter itself, and it ends like this. It says, um, when you have calmed down and attended the anger management class, I will be glad to discuss this matter with you in a logical, dispassionate manner. All right, so we have that. And then we have, let me make sure I show you the correct one. Let's see. We're going to get into Nathan Wade's opening statement, which I have gotten my hands on. And what does it say? We're going to talk some about it, but basically you can find it on my Twitter feed. And he talks about what his name is. He's a licensed attorney in good standing. You are aware, this is a quote, I served as special assistant district attorney and so on and so forth. Prior to accepting that appointment, I served as a prosecutor several times during my career. First, as an assistant solicitor general in Cobb County, Georgia, which is a misdemeanor prosecutor, and then as a special assistant attorney general for the state of Georgia. So we're going to talk some tomorrow. Rachel's going to help you understand, and we're going to explain what is meant by special assistant attorney general for the state of Georgia. He goes on to talk about his private practice. He's been a civil attorney. We're going to talk. He says he began serving as a municipal court judge. We're going to talk about what that means. And you guys can decide for yourself, whether or not what to make of this. But he takes issue with some of the reports about him not being cooperative with service of the subpoena. And as it just so happens, a lawyer that you may have heard of, her name's Ashley Merchant. She weighed in here and she gives a link to a website for the Attorney General's office where it lists, according to Ashley's post, lists every attorney who was actually a special assistant attorney general for years 2010 through 2023. Guess who isn't listed? So if he was a SAG, Special Assistant Attorney General, it had to be pre-2010. She says, I'm sure an open records request would clear that up. So you kind of see the direction that some of this is going into. So we're going to get into some of this tomorrow regarding, Nathan Wade and his testimony before Congress. And of course, we're going to have to get into some of the YSL shenanigans and just a couple of things. Again, you can look at my Twitter feed and you can kind of see what's on my mind with regard to a lot of these things. But yesterday, Thugger Daily, friend of the show, he posted that there's a deputy district attorney Sprinkle who's back on the stand. So let me tell you why this caught my eye. So you're not allowed to be a lawyer and a witness in the same case. All right. Fannie Willis, because she's the DA, she is the lead counsel on, every indictment. She's the lead counsel on this case. Okay. She may not be in the courtroom doing the work, but she is lead counsel because her name is on the indictment. These assistant DAs and deputy assistant DAs and whatever fancy title they have, their authority flows directly from the authority vested in Willis as the elected DA. So she is lead counsel. They think of them like a law firm. Okay. Dewey, Cheatham and Howe. It's a big law firm, right? And so let's just say you've got a bunch of partners, several associates. If one member or one lawyer in that firm has a conflict of interest under the rules of ethics, they all do. They all do. So you can't be a lawyer and a witness in the same case. So this caught my eye because I'm wondering why they're having here's what I said on Twitter. I said, this feels like a conflict of interest. If a lawyer can't be a lawyer and a witness on the same case, that should also apply to every other lawyer in the same quote firm, right? And so, this is something I started thinking about. And some people pointed out to me that Sprinkle was, he doesn't do any courtroom work. He just does investigations. Well, Willis, for those of you who don't know, district attorney's offices, they have their own internal police force. They have their own criminal investigators who get to carry guns and badges and arrest people and all the same stuff that all cops can do. Anybody who's an assistant district attorney is a lawyer. Okay. They're a member of the bar. They are an assistant DA. They have the same prosecutorial powers as the district attorney. Yeah, of course, prosecutors. I mean, lawyers, we investigate our cases. So if you use the word investigate in that context, sure. But to me, the fact that he's an assistant district attorney ought to make him, in my opinion, not, he shouldn't be able to be a witness in the case, at least not in front of a jury. If there's some issues outside the presence of the jury that the judge needs to hear about to make rulings, that's one thing. But to be like a fact witness in front of the jury just strikes me as kind of odd. So we're going to get into some of that as well. And Rachel's going to help us understand some of that. And we will hear what you've got to say about it. Yes. David Jack points out, feel really tiny. Yeah, I'm at the beginning. I pointed this out. We are in portrait mode right now. I'm experimenting with something. This is also going to go on TikTok. I'm engaging with people on that platform to bring some of this content to them. So this is going to be cross-posted on TikTok. But of course, I wanted to do it live here with you guys, just because it's fun. I want to engage with the audience. But yes, this is in portrait mode right now. I've never done it before. This is a little bit of an experiment, so just bear with me. But in any event, we're going to have to get into this as well.
Technical violation or akin to a technical violation, considering the solemn oath that he took when he said that he understood every term within the plea agreement, factual acknowledgments, and sentencing acknowledgments, and understood and, in fact, orally answered that he understood when both asked by the prosecutor and the court at his plea hearing that a failure to abide by any of the terms would constitute a violation of the agreement, and he was notified that the entirety of his probation could be revoked. I do appreciate the fact that this particular violation is a nonviolent violation. But I also appreciate the fact that some of the many why this could have occurred include the fact that there is just not a proper regard for the judicial system and the seriousness with which an oath in court needs to be taken. I actually view this much more akin to perjury, frankly, than a technical violation. And the sentence for perjury is up to 10 years. I am going to revoke 5 years of Mr. Sledge's probation. And Mr. Sledge, I am sympathetic to the fact that you have generally stayed out of trouble in, and I want to commend you for that. And I really hope that this revocation doesn't set you back. But we've got to take seriously the court system. So that's the sentence of the court. I find there to have been that violation. I'm revoking 5 years.
All right. So she revoked 5 years of Tunk's sentence, and she says she hopes it doesn't set him back. Well, look, I'm not commenting right now. Today, we'll talk more about this when we do the full live stream with the panel. But I found that to be a remarkable statement. I hope this doesn't set you back. Whether he violated probation and whether it was worth 5 years, you guys can debate that and tell me what you think in the comments. And we'll talk more about it in the live stream that we've got scheduled for tomorrow, Sunday the 20th. More on that later with the timing. But I just thought that was interesting. And of course, there's a lot of other things going on with the YSL trial. We're going to have to, I'll be pulling some more clips between now and tomorrow, and we'll get some of those ready to go. A lot of developments, but we'll check in and see what the latest is, of course, with YSL. But, 5 years is a long time. 5 years is a long time. And, I have seen, I can point you to recent examples that I'm personally familiar with where people are on probation and they do things way worse than allegedly he did for violating probation. Maybe they go out and commit a new crime, and maybe even a new felony, maybe even a violent new felony, and they don't get 5 years revoked. So it seemed to me just to be a little bit maybe disproportionate. Um, and so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about whether there can be any appeal or what the options might be, and we'll just sort of keep breaking that down. But anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at for tomorrow, and I'm going to keep working on it. But I wanted to just take a little bit of time and share this with you guys. Look, I appreciate all of you. I know it's been a minute since I've been here. I was explaining at the beginning of the live stream, at the beginning of the show. In addition to my own practice, which has kept me very busy, I've been participating in some disaster relief efforts, and I want to encourage any of you who can, if you're in a position to do so, help the people in Florida, in Georgia, in North Carolina, in Tennessee, and elsewhere who are still in dire need of assistance. I mean, these people have there's some of them are still without power, they're without water, and maybe they've lost their homes, they've lost their ability to provide for themselves. And it's a Herculean effort that we're seeing out there with lots of different organizations, particularly private organizations that have really stepped up. I was doing some of my part. I would encourage anyone who can to do their part as well, to just pitch in any way that you can. Those folks are still going to need our help for quite some time. It's obvious. But in addition to that, I did some traveling. My son and I went on a father-son trip that took me out of town over the past weekend, so there was no live stream last week. So I do appreciate you guys asking about, am I okay? Have I disappeared? No, I haven't fallen off the planet. I'm still here. Just other things have kept me busy. So that's part of why I wanted to take a little time and spend it with you today. But anyway, I see that there are 656 people that just popped in here at the last minute. That's truly humbling. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Ask your friends, family, neighbors, countrymen, anybody you can think of that might be interested in learning how the real justice system works. Point them here and ask them to subscribe to this channel. I'm approaching 50,000. That's my next goal, and we'll see what happens after that. I'm sure there'll be another goal, but for right now, I want to see if I can hit that 50,000 mark. I'm close, within a few hundred. So spread the word. And I'm going to have to leave it there because I don't want to tell you everything that we're going to do tomorrow, because then we won't have anything to talk about tomorrow. But I do hope that you'll come back. Tomorrow will not be in portrait mode. It'll be a more traditional type presentation. But until then, I just want to make sure that all of you enjoy your weekend, enjoy your time with your family, enjoy whatever's left of this short weekend. And for whatever you do, folks, do not be this guy.
Man, can I get a water or something? I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all ass. I ain't gonna tell you no lie.
Yes, you may. We're gonna take a break. Hang in there.
All right. We'll leave it there, and I'll see you next time here inside the law.